Tony DeCopel is in Fajardo, Puerto Rico. Tony, Irma ravaged Puerto Rico, even though the eye of the storm roared some 30 miles offshore. What more can you tell us about the conditions there?
Well, Stephanie, I can tell you that Hurricane Irma only narrowly missed Puerto Rico. It was about 20 miles, maybe 25 miles off of the coast where we are right here in the northeastern part of the island. And that 25 miles really saved the island. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo, a more direct hit that took apart buildings, that took off roofs. This time, when we came out this morning to survey the damage, there were a lot of downed trees, there were a lot of downed power lines, but the brunt of the storm really stayed offshore. And as a result, we can say tonight that Puerto Rico, as far as anyone knows at this point, maybe in the mountains there is some area that has not been reached yet, but as far as anyone knows at this point, including emergency responders, the brunt of the storm seems to have spared most of Puerto Rico.
Well, much like Puerto Rico, Irma is expected to deliver a glancing blow to the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Cuba through Thursday night, with winds still in excess of 175 miles per hour. Are you hearing anything from those islands?
The situation in those islands is similar to the situation in Puerto Rico. Before the hurricane, on a good day, they are already islands with difficulties. Almost half the population here in Puerto Rico lives in poverty, and it is even more dire the further west you go. So as Irma makes only, as you put it, a glancing approach to those islands, nevertheless, any approach, any damage is damage to an island that is not economically in a situation, or politically, organizationally, in a condition where it can readily respond, fund a relief effort, fund a rescue effort, and get back on its feet. Because right now, those islands, if you want to get really technical, they're already flat on their back.
In your piece, you detailed some of the destruction on other Caribbean islands, with Hurricane Jose now on the heels of Irma. Do you have a sense of how the region is preparing for the next storm?
So the way the Caribbean is structured, the finances, the economics of the islands tend to get worse as you go west. And to the east, there are wealthier islands. There's the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, some territories of France and the Netherlands. The conditions are better there, the infrastructure is better there, but you have a different problem. They're more remote. So anyone who's taken a trip there knows that you can find a bottle of water for double, triple, even 4 times the price as you might find on the mainland, wherever your mainland is. So now the challenge, with total devastation in some of those areas and near total devastation in others, is how do you swiftly get rescue material, medical supplies, food, water, everything you might need. We had the lights just come back on here at our hotel to those locations. I mean, in contrast, here we're at a luxury hotel on the northeastern end of Puerto Rico. It suffered last night. People had to be evacuated from their rooms and sheltered in the lobby. But because they have resources, they've got a 24-hour turnaround, and things are just about back to normal. A lot of downed trees, but mostly people happy. The bar will be open later tonight. That is not even remotely true in vast, vast stretches of the islands just east of here. Stephanie?
Tony DeCopel, thank you.
The island of Barbuda taking a direct hit from Hurricane Irma. More than 90% of the island, homes, buildings destroyed. And tonight, listen to this. Hurricane Jose is now on a path to hit that same island. Just moments ago, I spoke with the Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, with now an urgent effort underway trying to get everyone out. Prime Minister Brown, thanks for joining us, and the pictures coming in are just devastating. I know you've had a chance to fly over the island and to visit it in person. To describe what you saw for us.
Yeah, well, for me, I never contemplated that we could have had such damages. I mean, the Barbuda landscape was just totally decimated. I mean, 90% or more of the buildings were damaged. I mean, it literally destroyed the country.
Mr. Prime Minister, I know you described it as though a bomb went off on that island, and we are all watching the track now of Hurricane Jose, which could get to that island as well. Just incredible that you could be facing 2 hurricanes now. You're trying to get everyone off the island?
Well, we are. We are being proactive. In fact, already the evacuation has taken place mid-morning, no later than midday tomorrow. We'll literally have the island completely evacuated.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for your time. I know you're very busy. And please make sure the people of your island know that they're in our thoughts and prayers.
Many thanks.
Okay. Ito yung blush lah. va aller sur le boulevard là pour nous voir qui gens mouvement là mais qui gens flux qui gens reflux et tout. OK. OK, side by get up that other line. Pas dire qui gros mais bois ça pas assez solide. C'est qu'un bé comme ça. Mais on juste descendre là. Pourquoi il y a une grande chose, je connais. Si le moment Irma l'a passé déjà, ou bien s'il veut passer. Sauf qu'avec prudence, en pile le monde va prendre la rue. Donc, boulevard là, vide. Tout restaurant fermé. Il suffit qu'on y a là. Pour regarder le mouvement de la mer. Nous ne pouvons pas gros vent, nous pouvons pas gros vent qui souffle. Surtout, nous dans la côte là, nous pensons que le vent est supposé siffler dans une dimension pour que est capable de provoquer peur. Nous ne pouvons pas vraiment voir ça. C'est comme si les après-midi, on a marché sur le boulevard là, il y a un petit vent ça. On attend jusqu'à présent, on attend. Dans ce moment-là, tout restaurant fermé, avec un pile barrage.
Vous ne pouvez pas rien pour vous ne pouvez pas rien pour vous ne pouvez pas rien pour affronter le matin sur le boulevard, on se boulevard Kounia, vous ne pouvez pas rien pour vous. Nous préparer, nous avons été vigilants, nous avons conseillé des PCO, nous avons conseillé l'autorité locale, conseillé la mairie, mais au cap, s'il vous plaît, pas rien. Napton et boulevard là, nous préparer.
Ouais, comme c'est moi habituellement, et vent activé presque pareil les après-midi.
Bon, pour qu'on y a, nous avons quasiment même quantité pour nous toujours habitués dans le cap, avec une de la pluie pour le mois de novembre par exemple. Ça nous habitué. Pour qu'on n'ait pas gagné qui est inhabituel, nous vivons là qu'on y a au cap. Mais en même temps, nous avons une préparation qui est faite pour Irma qui a venu. Donc tout le monde qui est dans les métages là, c'est juste qu'il est préparé, il est créatif, dans les métages des PCO, dans les métages de la mairie, et puis nous préparons nous là.
Est-ce que il était quelques heures encore pour nous travailler faire Irma dans le département?
Bon, même si on pas ouais effet, mais pour le moment, le fait que DPC baille alerte rouge là, donc tout le monde est en alerte rouge maximale jusqu'à ce que l'autorité dit alerte à lever. Même si ouais, même si on pas ouais, n'a pas été suivre conseiller autorité qui était dans l'alerte rouge, qui est là dans l'alerte rouge.
D'accord, merci docteur. Voilà, tout le monde qui prend l'image pour montrer comment ça y est sur le boulevard là. Et moi-même tout avec caméra et tout, avec téléphone moi, je fais nous vivre l'événement live sur le boulevard haïtien. Normalement, Noël, plus la mer en pigeon et mouvement. Par contre, c'est forte intempérie qui permet ça. Mais jusqu'à présent, on attend. On attend jusqu'à présent. partager vidéo ça ensemble avec amis nous pour voir exactement qui Jean boulevard là est et que Irma pour vraiment affecter le département. Mais tout le monde était vigilant tant pour dirigeants ont annoncé ça. Nous sommes vigilants, nous attendons et avec un pile préparation personnelle que nous avons déjà fait la caille nous avec l'environnement nous. Donc c'est comme ça. Si il y a une éventuelle pas dire en actualité, on va toujours faire vivre. Ça va passer actuellement ce boulevard là. Merci.
Right now on the phone, I've got Key West, Florida Chief of Police Donald Lee Jr. He joins me now. Welcome to the show, Chief Lee.
Thank you.
So how are these preparations for Irma different than storm preparations you and your department have made in the past?
Well, certainly we've never faced a storm of this magnitude any time that I can remember, and you know, this is the most powerful storm that's ever been in the Atlantic Basin. We certainly over the years have had a lot of practice, and we've had a lot of close calls, and we've had actual hurricanes that have hit us, but preparing for this one is just a little bit different and a little scarier. But we are making all the preparations that need to be in place. We are pretty much prepared. We are currently under a hurricane watch, which we could expect possibly tropical force storm winds within 48 hours. We are currently under a mandatory evacuation of all residents in Key West.
And people in Key West, I've been there. It's a beautiful part of the state. I love it because there's such a strong, independent theme and lifestyle there, which makes obviously some of the residents of the Florida Keys very different than other residents of Florida. How are you talking to them, convincing them to get out, and how effective have the mandatory evacuations been?
Well, as you mentioned, a good portion of our community are independent and you know, sometimes have minds of their own. But so far, we are encouraged by the number of residents that have evacuated, but we are concerned because there are still many residents on the island. So it's a bit concerning to us. We're going out doing everything possible, trying to encourage everyone to leave. There's still time. We still have today. We still have tomorrow morning for them to evacuate. We are explaining to them the dire consequences should we be struck directly by this hurricane, which is still possible.
And what happens, Chief Lee, what happens if the Keys take a direct hit? Walk us through that.
Well, if we take a direct hit, it's going to be devastating to us. It's going to have catastrophic consequences to this island. I mean, there's going to be tremendous storm surge and in wind, and it's just going to be catastrophic, like nothing this island has ever experienced. And we're trying to tell the residents that are still here that they stay at their own risk, because as of tomorrow at 7 a.m., there are no hospitals open in all of Monroe County. So we're not going to be able to put first responders at risk to come rescue them and without having, you know, any medical facilities or any ability to air evacuate first responders out. So we're trying to explain to them, those folks that are still left behind, some of the life and death consequences of their decision not to evacuate. But there's still time. We have buses that are evacuating people on the street right now around town and taking them to shelters in Miami.
Very good. So there you have it. They are awesome. They are not immortal. You have your hands full. I'll let you get back to it. Thank you so much, Chief Lee.